Hello, everyone. I'm Bonnie Low-Kramen. I am your host of today's show, Heads Together. It is Wednesday, June 30th, and I'm here with my assistant, Jennifer Wilner. Good afternoon,
Hi, Bonnie.
Jen.
Hi, Bonnie. Hi, everybody.
Welcome to everybody coming into the show. Welcome, welcome. We're happy you're here. In case you think I sound different, there's a good reason for that. I have caught a cold. So if any of you have some magic remedies, I'm all ears. But oh my gosh, it was so fast. I've been pretty healthy up until now, and then all of a sudden, a friend came over and was sneezing and coughing, and there I am. Hey, Sandy Knight, welcome to you from Boston. Excited to have you here. Today's show is going to be kind of a potpourri of subjects. Today is the last day. Oh my gosh, Sandy has a cold too. We didn't give it to each other. Hi, Debbie Richards from Boulder, Colorado. Today is the last day of Pride Month, June 30th. But just because it's the last day of Pride Month does not mean we're going to stop talking about being an advocate and an ally for those communities in our workplace that need support. And the LGBTQ plus community is one of those communities. Mm-hmm. So Jen has some links from last week's conversation with Ike Saunders. And he was so great, wasn't he? And it's for the Human Rights Campaign. Laura, thanks for rum, lemon, and honey. Yes, I'm working on that. Hi, Denise. Welcome to the show. I've got a cold, so welcome any remedies here. Want to share the links for Pride Month in case any of you want to donate to the Human Rights Campaign and to just raise your awareness about the gay community and the LGBTQ plus communities. It's not going to end just because June 30th is upon us. So there it is. So Jen is putting them all in the chat. And welcome to our viewer from Italy. I just love, and Laura, you're here from Belgium. Stephanie Hand is telling me to be quiet. I probably should, Stephanie. But Jen and I thought, well, it's only a half an hour today.
You don't want to disappoint anybody.
Yeah. And, I've been hearing what Jen and I have been aware of is that a lot of people are taking vacation next week, and that's making us feel really happy. We're not officially taking vacation, but I mean, the holiday, the July 4th holiday is being celebrated on Monday. I hope each and every one of you is planning some kind of rest and relaxation and self-care this summer as we come out of this pandemic. And my goodness, the problems in Southern Florida right now with the building collapse, it feels like there's never an end to drama that's happening somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
And so therefore we have to take care of ourselves. I want to welcome everybody onto the show. It's so great to see your names. Hi, Marco, Jen, and please include in the chat any helpful hints about your own self-care, your own plan for vacation. Jen, what's an example or two of what you're doing for self-care?
Well, Fridays, Secretary Central says goodnight for the weekend at 1:00 in the afternoon. That's Eastern time.
Okay. Note to Bonnie.
Those emails will be responded to. Now, we have had 3 days of scorching heat.
Oh, yeah.
Not compared to the West Coast, but pretty insane for New Jersey.
Yeah.
Global warming. So worst case scenario, if it's still nice, there will be a kiddie blow up pool in the backyard.
It's intense.
Yeah.
I mean, the West Coast of the United States, 116 degrees Fahrenheit. For those of you Europeans, that is so hot.
That's
Las Vegas is having record heat. New Jersey. I mean, I'm here in Florida. It's cooler in Florida than it is in New Jersey. So, and then we've got the folks in the Miami area in Surfside with that building collapse, which is just so sad as the news keeps coming out. So we have to take care of ourselves to be ready for what's next. My gosh. Jamaican remedy from my ex-mother-in-law. It works. The rum, the lemon,
Nice.
I'm having tea, and I'm just so happy to be here with each and every one of you. So share in the chat your own tips, your vacation plans, and another hot topic that's being written about on the business media this week and last week increasingly is this talent shortage that the workplace is going to be experiencing. I'm so curious to know if you're experiencing this in your company. And there's also this controversy about people who don't want to go back into the office 5 days a week or at all. And I'm wondering, is that a source of stress at your company, or is it getting figured out? What's happening? What's really happening? Because on one hand, we have these articles that are, talking about this turnover tsunami of available, and I'm certainly hearing about a lot of open positions, but I'm wondering if you're seeing it.
Bonnie,
yes.
Excuse me for a second. Happy birthday, Sandy.
Sandy, not happy birthday to you. You're turning 60 today. Good for you, Sandy. Oh my gosh, you've had a very eventful couple of years. And I just got the word this week I'm coming to Boston the last week of September. So for those of you in Boston, we will have to get together. There will be more news about that. Sandy wanted to be with us on her birthday. Tell us, I would be so interested in knowing your questions, your comments. What's front of your mind? What have you been thinking about this week as we head towards the July 4th holiday? And this July 4th is very different than it was last July 4th. Jennifer Packard's saying that she's noticed attrition rates are rising. Interesting. So that means turnover. People are leaving. And and Laura, what is Laura sharing, Jen?
Mars Kind, we currently have a turnover, but the company's values and principles are really helping us to stay strong and keep us motivated for the future.
Interesting. And I just heard an interesting story about Mars Kind this morning about how well they're doing. The stock is up and the company is really thriving. So it's interesting to wonder, why then are people leaving? I mean, people leave jobs for all kinds of reasons. I know.
Yeah.
But, when it happens in any great number, though, then you have to start looking and seeing, well, why? Laura's saying you have turnover because of requisitions. I'm not sure I understand. Maybe other departments or requests for moving on. I'm not sure. I read another interesting article. Investing more in digital marketing. Laura's saying that her company is investing more in digital marketing.
And we saw that this morning, right, Bonnie, on LinkedIn?
Yes, indeed. That is for sure. There's another subject that's being written about a lot lately, and it's about the real reasons that people don't want to go back into the office. And we touched on them a week or so ago when we were talking about, assistants have said, you're less distracted at home, you're more productive, you've saved money, you have better work-life balance to be with the kids. And there was another reason that I hadn't really thought of, and maybe because I'm not a pet person, I travel so much, or I did. It's about pets. Is it so many people got a pet during the pandemic, that it will be hard to not be around this pet every day. I wonder what you
Well,
want.
it's hard for the pets get separation anxiety. So we have to train them to not be around us. They got used. I think people were buying and adopting animals from shelters. The shelters were like emptying. And so that we had the comfort and they made us happy. But now if we're going to work, now the animals are home by themselves.
So I'm not sure that most people would advertise that reason with their executives. But if self-care and wellness is that important, I would think if that's a real reason, then we're going to need to kind of address that.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to have to address that. Laura has a comment. Laura's been busy typing.
Yeah, we go hybrid model. Yes, I got a pet, but we're allowed to take them as of September to the office.
Oh my God. Okay. So then that's part of the solution that leaders are coming up with is to bring the pet to the office. How interesting. What does Michelle have?
And here's another. Oh, wait, where'd you go? Sorry. Michelle Covetris has gone to a hybrid model, including admins. We no longer have to be in the office 5 days. And yes, we are friendly for a global company, very advanced. I love it.
Wow. I mean, a year and a half ago, this would have been unheard of, right? That you would have been able to work at home hybrid and that you would be able to bring your dog or your dogs to, I wonder if there are any other kind of animals besides dogs that we're thinking about. And Laura's saying that Mars has a pet care department. Are you kidding me?
I love it.
Like, this is incredible.
I left the dog treat industry at the wrong time.
Oh my gosh. So
Fantastic.
this is interesting that on the show, for those of you who work for companies who do not have these perks, Laura's advising for assistants to negotiate for a hybrid realistic return to the office. Yeah, there's so much conversation going on right now. Some of the financial firms in New York City, like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, they are, at the moment, their position is, if you work for us, you must come in 5 days a week, starting, I think, September 1. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And maybe you've heard that salaries are going up, that in the places where there is demand for assistance, the ones who are willing to go in hybrid are actually able to negotiate even more money. Yeah, the money is going to be a part of this whole picture. What does Megan have to say? Oh, Lynn is saying she's got a coworker with a fish tank on her desk. I love this.
Fantastic. Hey, Megan. My executive brings his dogs in and has allowed others in our small business to do the same. We've basically been in the office the entire time. We've been able to socially distance, et cetera, because of our setup.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So how soon before we hear from the people who are allergic to dogs? Or I just wonder, is this going to sustain? Crazy. Laura is advising to document your wins since COVID and prove your ROI, your return on investment. That means making your case to reveal how much more productive you've been and, essentially what's in it for your executive if they endorse this kind of thing. And what some companies are doing is that they're taking let's give it a try for 3 months and let's see how it goes. And I'm a fan of that because, I believe that this situation we're in is so fluid. It's just moving around. It's got a lot of moving parts. We've got pets in the office now. And is that going to be able to work for the long term? Yeah. Yeah, she's allergic, but she got a Cocker Spaniel. But how about those dogs that are not Cocker Spaniels. So,
Right.
we'll
Golden retrievers with all that fluff flying around the office, right?
So Megan has something about, it's up a little bit, Jen, that her executive, oh no, we already put that up. Yeah.
We got
That's
that.
how foggy my brain is. Laura, put up Laura's comment. Laura, you've got lots of great stuff to say today. Please let's support EAs to document their wins and get them the confidence to present it to their executives. I have to say that, it's not ever that I want assistants to take unfair advantage of a situation. But we have a situation where assistants really are in something of the driver's seat right now in many companies and in many cities, where you can say what you need. Really, it's about that. It's about feeling the license to say what you need and what will make it work for you. We've got some comments, Jen.
Sure. Sandy, I agree with Laura, especially since it is June 2021, another 6 months working remotely. Offer a trial period to see how it works with a 30, 60, 90-day evaluation.
That sounds reasonable. Let's give it a try. It's like nobody wants to be boxed into a corner where they can never get out, because the data is still not 100%. That yes, we were very productive during the pandemic. Will that be able to be sustained, though? That's a legit question, I think. So what else do we have, Jen?
We have one from Elizabeth. My company has indicated that all employees whose roles allow can work 2 to 3 days in office/home. The negotiation will happen manager to employee depending on expectations.
Interesting. So there is a conversation going on in the leadership circles about, are there two cultures brewing? The stay-at-home people conflicting with the people who are going in to the office. And when there's a meeting, how do you keep everybody engaged? The people who are literally in the office in person and the ones who are, coming in remotely on Zoom or WebEx or Teams. So it's these questions. It's not that I have the answers to all of them, but I do know it will be important for assistants to be part of the conversation and to potentially be part of the solution to how this thing is going to play out. It's an exciting time right now, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Something about Microsoft Teams. Hi, Lynn.
Yeah. Hey, Lynn. Yeah, Microsoft Teams, that's Vicki talks about it all the time. People are meeting on Teams, and I think it's increasing its capability. How many people can you see on the screen now? It's amazing to me, though, how many really big companies, I was talking to one today, are using Zoom as their platform to communicate with the bigger world. And, some of my cybersecurity people say that Zoom is not necessarily secure. Anybody have any thoughts about that? Laura has something else.
Laura says, I can concur that all the EAs at Mars Global are the ones really shining through in productivity, resilience, and motivation to make the remote collaboration work. We all really support each other. Fantastic.
And let's hope that lasts.
Yeah, last.
And Elizabeth,
you are so right. Bonnie, lots of my colleagues are burned out in the 24/7, 365 availability expectations that the pandemic brought in our case. We will need to balance expectations and personal realities on both sides.
We absolutely do. And it's no longer just the needs of executives and leaders that are coming into play right now. What I'm reading and what I'm hearing, because I'm sitting in on leadership podcasts and webinars, is that this is going to be the year of the employee, and this is the year of the job description. year of the job description, because your job descriptions have changed so much. It will be very important to make sure yours is up to speed. And we had a guest a few weeks ago about the rules about hourly versus salary. So we know that that's super important. Let's get to Miho's. Hi, Miho.
Sure.
Where are you coming in from? You have a wonderful name.
Let's see. We're going back to the office once a week basis on 7/26 and twice a week from 9/7. Running the trial period till the end of the year and hope to keep it hybrid from January 22. My challenge is to provide employee engagement activities while they are in the office. So our leadership will realize that we can still create employee engagement to work as a team in hybrid work style. Right. Miho is coming to us from Houston.
Oh, welcome, Miho. Great to see you on the show. And thanks for sharing that. So it's going to be a process to get us back into the office and then to see how it works. And then to please, though, when you see things that are not working, it will be critical to say what those things are. HR is pretty swamped right now. I got to tell you, what I'm hearing is they are really tapped for talent. And one company I spoke with, they have 40 people in their human resources department. And that's still not enough to handle everything that's going on. Shockingly, this morning, I was on a call with a leader from a very large company, and I had asked for job descriptions. One of the job descriptions they sent me hadn't been revised since October of 1999. And I pointed that out to the leader. I know. Like, where are we? Typewriters? What? And I pointed that out to the leader, and I said, that's not okay. And on top of everything, of course, it was super generic and super general. That's not working anymore. It's just not. Okay, we've got a few more, Jen.
Yeah. Laura commented, document. I just got promoted because of all the documenting I do outside my scope. Big lesson learned. Congrats.
Yeah. Good.
From Elizabeth, in a large multinational job, descriptions are driven by HR, so that there's not much say from the employee's side, but one can work with the manager to reassess a role.
Right. But Elizabeth, I would argue that if HR has no time to do it, and they don't, I think it is appropriate for assistants to take proactive measures. This is your livelihood and your career we're talking about. And I'm not a big fan of putting that in their hands. I want your career in your hands. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Laura. When we need you too. What is Claudia has a comment?
Claudia. Hi, Claudia. My husband accepted a new role in another state. 3 years ago, my executive and I agreed to a trial run remote setup. We are still going strong and have a great partnership.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You know, what's interesting is most of you know I come from the celebrity assistant world. And way back in 1996 is when we started New York Celebrity Assistants. And the irony is that there were a handful of celebrities and their assistants who were already working remotely way back when. You know, a celebrity based in Florida and the assistant based in New York. And then they would, and you know, at the time, we all thought that was just so radical and innovative. It was so ahead of time, but it wasn't that many. There weren't that many of them, but there were at least 5 that I can think of off the top of my head who were working that way. So it's considered new now, in the larger sense, but it really isn't new. It really isn't. So, well, it's so great to have you all here. And I hope I know our European friends, you don't celebrate July 4th, but the weekend is coming. And I hope whatever you're doing this weekend that you get to relax and rest. because besides it being the year of the job description, it's also the year, it seems, that HR and leaders are paying more attention to employee wellness and mental health and self-care. And I mean, as evidenced by the whole pet thing, I'm so surprised and pleased at what we're reading today on this chat. Jen, we have a few more comments.
Yeah, sure. In Minneapolis, one of my officers has decided not to relocate but stay in North Carolina due to the increased remote work available.
So, but with the same company, then I'm guessing.
Yeah.
As opposed to, hey, I really like this place. I want to stay here. And Elizabeth
is sharing that her executive and I are in constant touch remotely using MS Teams. It keeps her in the loop, and I can do the administrative lift for her.
Yeah. And you know what I hope, Elizabeth, and everybody, is that your work day, either the joke is that we're not working from home, we're sleeping at work. And therefore we can't let the hours get out of control, that you still need to eat, you still need to rest, you still need to shut down at a certain point. And I know that's hard for assistants, but in order for us to sustain this new thing that's being created, we have to, I believe it will be important. So we don't have to do anything, but I think it's going to be important to have a conversation about what is reasonable and realistic. And it's going to require every bit of creativity that assistants have as we work with our teams, because not everybody's needs are the same. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Jennifer has a question. How do folks deal with time zones if your companies are going remote?
I've wondered that too. And I have to say, Jennifer, one of the things I've heard is that they switch off from week to week. So on one week, somebody's got to get up hideously early. And on the next week, somebody's got to stay up really ridiculously late. But welcome any comments about that. Jennifer, I think that's really what's going to have an awareness. I suspect that's going to put even more pressure on managers and leaders about how to juggle all this. We're doing B2A next week, be the Ultimate Assistant Virtual on July 8th and 9th. And I had announced it in Pacific time, and I am going to honor that. We're doing it from 9 in the morning till 4:30 Pacific time, but I'm in Eastern time. So, it's a matter of, so I'm an example of something you're talking about, is that I want to honor what I advertised, and we're going to do that. That's interesting. Lynn's comment that Linda Lucas says that they record everything so everyone can listen at a reasonable hour.
Sure. I mean, it's so easy to do so now.
Yeah. Put up Elizabeth's comment about time zones.
Yeah. US, Europe, and Asia. Yeah.
It is hard.
It's hard.
It is. The time zone thing is tough. So it is, as always, it's about having the conversation so that it feels fair. It feels, and you can create a system. If your manager doesn't seem to have an awareness about whoever in some faraway time zone, I urge you to talk about it and say something, because that's the only way. We're on new territory here, is my point. And none of us have really been here before. So on one level, that's kind of exciting. Well, we will be here next week on Wednesday at 3 p.m. And with any luck, my cold will be better. This has been a really interesting conversation. And I thank you. Thank you, Jen. Thanks for
my pleasure
jumping in. I hope you'll notice the new background we have for Heads Together, with Jen created for us. Heads Together. Get it? I'm a fan. And so it's great to have you with us. We still have some seats open for B2A virtual next week. And of course, on demand always. use coupon code. What's our coupon code, Jen?
We have, forgive me, B2A bonus.
B2A bonus 21.
Bonus 21 for
and save $200.
$200 discount.
Right. So please check out BonnieLow-Kramen.com, BeTheUltimateAssistant.com, and we will see you next week. If you have anything, any ideas you want to pitch to us, send me an email, Bonnie@BonnieLow-Kramen.com.
Or it says, have the rum.
I think that's my cue.
Okay. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.